Today I'm going to play around with the trigger. So a very important part of accuracy is your trigger. Now, if your trigger's way too tight, you're going to struggle to keep your target on. So there are various ways of doing it. Now, this particular rifle that I'm going to show you now is my son's, and I was lucky enough that there was a kit. So I haven't opened it yet. Apparently there's some instructions, so we'll see how we go. This is my son's CZ452ZKM. That's an absolutely amazing rifle, and we were very lucky to pick it up secondhand. We actually bought it as a gift to him for his first gun. I think it was for either Christmas or his birthday, I can't remember now. But he helped search for it, and we found this absolutely immaculate rifle. It shoots hole in hole. This thing is, if you're looking for an accurate 22, you can't go past these. They're absolutely amazing. So I'm going to attempt to read the instructions and see if I can work out how to make this trigger lighter. Well, it looks like it's got some pretty detailed instructions. Now, this kit will also do not just the 452, it'll do the 455 as well. Bruno 2, 4 and 5. So there will be some components I assume that we'll use and others that we won't. So I'll have a bit of a quick read through and see if I can make heads or tails out of it. So the first instruction is to separate the stock from the action and barrel, which is quite simple on this gun. There's only 3 screws here. But the most important part when doing something like this, to make sure that you have the right fitting screwdriver. The last thing you want is for the screwdriver not to fit correctly and to damage one of these bolts or the screw head, because first of all, not only does it look ugly, but you're going to struggle to tighten it. So make sure you've got the right screwdriver. It's a bit loose. It's a bit of a worry. It's the right tool for the job always. So we'll put these in here in order. I'm not sure if one's longer than another, so we'll soon find out. Let's place that like that. No, that's definitely longer. And you definitely don't want to try to put the wrong bolt in the wrong spot. Well, the front one's a Phillips head, so we can't go wrong. So short at the back, Phillips head at the front, and your long bolt in the middle. Remove this part here as well. That just set on the back bolt, so that just attaches from the back bolt. Always best to check these things before you pull it apart, otherwise you'll be scratching your head to put it back together. And this should just separate. There we go. Spacer that came out from in here. We'll put that. It came out easier on its own than what it did. Yeah, perfect. Okay, we'll put the stock away. So I've done a fair bit of reading through that and spent some time looking at it. And all I want to do is change the rear spring. I don't want to go way too light. I don't want to go to 1 pound or under. So I'm not going to use half the things in that kit, because for safety reasons, I think for me, a pound trigger pull is as light as I want to go. Now, I noticed that this has also got an adjustment over here, which I've wound back a little bit. This is wound right up, and that lightened the trigger a fair bit already. So it'll be interesting to see how it feels with the lighter spring, and if that's too light, I'll go a little bit heavier, but we'll start trying to punch out this pin now and see how we go. It's almost out. There we go. Yep, got it done. Perfect. So that little pin is what holds it all together. Okay. Pull that out. And then we have it. It's the trigger tension spring. Oh, that's hard. So we've got an assortment of springs here, from lightest to hardest. I'll pull that off. Let's try the lightest. Why not? Actually, whilst I'm here, I might wind the disc back as far as it goes as well. Oh, beautiful. Oops, wrong spring. About to put the factory spring back into it. Anything? Yep, so that's started to go in now. You just got to be careful at the last little bit to make sure that it's going to line up on this outer one, so that's why I'm taking my time with it. Closer there. So it needs to be held down a little bit. Perfect. That's caught it. So now we can drive it home. Nice and flush, nice and flush, perfect. All right, now to try it and see how it feels. Ooh, Jesus. Whoops. That may be a little too light. Let's see how it feels holding it up. Hard to tell like that. Oh. I'm going to guess that that's lighter than 1 pound. But there's another test we can do. Oops. Did you hear that? It went off. That means that it's unsafe. So it's way too light. Yep. Yep, so that just means a slight bump of the rifle, it could fire. So if you're walking along with it and bump into something and it's, you know, bolts in, it's ready to fire, it's going to go off. Let's see if we can just nip it up a little bit and see if that's enough for it to stop doing that. So I've tried tightening it a fair bit. I had that quite compressed and it was still going off, so that means pull it apart again and put the next spring in it. Much quicker the second time, isn't it? Yeah, we sort of seem to be cooking with gas, but so that was the lightest. That was, I will take that one there. Even their heaviest is much lighter than the factory spring. So this is the factory spring. It's quite hard to press. And this one's a little lighter than that. So we'll give this one a go. We'll take the adjustment all the way back first. Okay, definitely getting the hang of this. Yeah, it's definitely tighter. But still a lot looser than the factory spring. Might just back that off as much as I can. So I've undone that nut there as much as I can. So that's the lightest setting for that spring. So let's give it a hit with the hammer. No, that's still engaged. Perfect. That's what we want, a safe gun. And I think that's a hell of a lot lighter than what it was before. But until I get it back into the stock, I won't be able to feel it because I haven't got my my trigger gauge here today, which would have been great so we can see the pounds different, but that's okay. Let's put it back into the stock. So basically putting it back together is going to be a reversal of what we did before. Now this fell out before, and what I noticed is that it's got a dovetail there, which is the exact same on here as well. So we're going to have to get that dovetail to marry up on here. Perfect, that's nice. I'll grab the barrel from about here. And, oh, look, wrong spot. There we go. Yep, beautifully. That lined up well. And just to make sure, I know that this is the wrong length bolt, but I just want to make sure that I've got a thread here. Yep, thread's lined up. That's beautiful. I'll put this rear plate in, nice and flush. Trigger guard. And as we said, long bolt in the middle. Always best to get these things finger started. You don't want to tighten one bolt and then the other one is fighting up against the edge of the metal and the thread. And tight. That's right, the screwdriver slip out of it, that's good. No disasters. Perfect. And magazine back in. All good. So we have it. Oh. Much nicer than before. I would say half the trigger pull to what we had. I think my son's going to be happy with that. Have to go and try it out at the range. Whilst he's not in Australia, he's on holidays at the moment around Europe, so I might go shoot his gun whilst he's not here, because he can't say no, can he?